1. The mystery of blue eyes, a genetic legacy. Have you ever looked into a pair of blue eyes and wondered about their captivating hue? Here's a mind-blowing fact. There's actually no blue pigment in human eyes. What you're witnessing is an incredible trick of physics, much like why the sky appears blue. Blue eyes are technically colorless. They simply reflect shorter wavelengths of light, scattering them back to you, creating that cool, ethereal illusion instead of absorbing the light. Every single person on Earth with blue eyes, an astounding 500 million individuals, can trace their lineage back to one common ancestor. This groundbreaking genetic event occurred between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago, somewhere near the Black Sea. This ancient individual harbored a genetic mutation in the OCA2 gene, which effectively dialed down melanin production. This reduction in pigment allowed light to scatter more freely, unveiling the blue we see today. Initially, this mutation didn't offer a survival advantage against the sun's harsh rays. However, in colder, northern climates with weaker sunlight and scarcer food, blue eyes may have facilitated more efficient vitamin D synthesis due to less melanin absorbing more UV light. What began as a random genetic tweak evolved into a distinct advantage in specific environments, explaining their prevalence in northern populations and their tendency to appear brighter even under gray. 2. Brown eyes, built for survival in the sun. Imagine our early ancestors navigating vast, treeless grasslands under a relentless, scorching sun. A momentary squint, a second of compromised vision, could mean the difference between catching prey or becoming prey. This is the harsh reality that shaped the evolution of brown eyes. Packed densely with melanin, brown eyes are nature's ultimate defense against intense heat and blinding light. Unlike lighter eyes that scatter sunlight like a dazzling, uncontrolled glitter bomb, brown eyes are designed to absorb and suppress it, ensuring vision remains sharp and focused. This robust design is precisely why the earliest humans, particularly those thriving near the equator, predominantly had brown eyes. In those unforgiving environments, struggling to see through direct sunlight wasn't an option, it directly impacted survival and the ability to find food. These eyes didn't evolve for aesthetic appeal. They evolved because anything less simply meant an untimely end. Melanin acts as a powerful shield, protecting the retina from harmful UV damage and intense glare, providing a significant biological edge. In sun-drenched landscapes, this crucial trait persists today, with over 70% of the global population still possessing brown eyes. It's not just a common feature, it's a testament to a characteristic that profoundly contributed to our species' survival. Furthermore, recent studies suggest that brown eyes might even process motion faster, detecting subtle shifts or flickers at the periphery, a skill that would have been invaluable for spotting danger in a primordial. 3. The rarity of green eyes, a unique genetic blend. If you're among the mere 2% of the global population with green eyes, then congratulations. You possess one of the world's most captivating and rarest eye colors. But don't let their striking appearance fool you into thinking they're simply a perfect blend of blue and brown. The truth is far more intricate, rooted in a fascinating interplay of basic physics and biology. Green eyes result from a delicate balance. Just enough melanin to prevent them from appearing blue, yet not quite enough to turn them fully brown. This precise level of pigment, combined with the scattering of light, creates that distinctive hazel green swirl that often seems to shift and shimmer depending on the ambient light. Unlike blue eyes, which are traced back to a single common ancestor, green eyes don't share a singular origin point. Instead, they appear to have emerged in the misty, often cloudy regions bridging Europe and the Middle East, particularly in countries like Scotland, Hungary, and Iran. These areas, characterized by their mixed gene pools and moderate sunlight, provided the perfect conditions for such unique mutations to take hold and survive. The color is a cocktail of genes, primarily involving OCA2 and another gene called GAY. Together, these genes act like a dimmer switch, finely tuning melanin levels to produce the beautiful forest glass glow that makes green eyes appear subtly different in almost every photograph. Their rarity and unique genetic makeup make them a truly special human. 4. Amber eyes, the enigmatic golden glow. Amber eyes are so incredibly distinct, they often look as if they've been conjured from a fantasy novel, rather than appearing on a real human face. With their captivating golden hue, sometimes shimmering with copper or a rich yellow tint, they possess an almost unnatural glow. Yet, they are very real, and their extreme rarity only adds to their mystique. A mere 0.01% of the world's population possesses amber eyes. To put that into perspective, you have a higher statistical chance of being struck by lightning twice in your lifetime than being born with this particular eye color. So, what truly sets amber eyes apart from hazel or brown? Beyond their breathtaking color, the secret lies in the unique pigment responsible for their appearance. While most eye colors derive their shade from melanin, and the way it either bends or bounces light, amber eyes owe their characteristic glow to something different, a pigment called pheomelanin. This is the very same pigment responsible for vibrant red hair and freckles. Instead of simply absorbing or scattering light, pheomelanin reflects it in a way that gives the iris an almost metallic sheen. This creates that intense, warm golden glow, sometimes so vivid it appears as if the person's eyes are illuminated from within. Amber eyes are not tied to a single region or a specific gene. They've been observed in small, scattered numbers across South America, Asia, and Eastern Europe. Like secret treasures distributed by evolution. Some scientists hypothesize that they might be a byproduct of both eumelanin and pheomelanin mixing in just the right, rare proportions. Their striking appearance often leads people to assume they are colored contacts. A testament to 5. Hazel eyes, the shifting spectrum of color. Hazel eyes are truly the wild cards of the ocular spectrum, not quite green, not fully brown, yet somehow embodying elements of both simultaneously. Depending on the lighting, they can morph from an earthy amber to a vibrant mossy green, and if you stare long enough, they seem to possess an almost chameleon-like quality, shifting hues like mood rings. While many assume this visual dynamism is merely a trick of the light, it's actually a fascinating battle of pigments playing out within your iris. The unique appearance of hazel eyes occurs because melanin isn't distributed uniformly throughout the iris. Instead, concentrations of brown pigment tend to cluster around the center, while the outer ring reflects cooler tones, often green or gold. Rather than blending seamlessly, these distinct zones push against each other, creating a complex gradient. Consequently, the specific color you perceive can vary dramatically based on the angle of the light, the colors a person is wearing, or even their mood. Some researchers believe this uneven spread of pigment is precisely why hazel eyes appear to change color more frequently and dramatically than any other. Globally, only about 5% of the population possesses hazel eyes, making them relatively rare. And they are most commonly observed in individuals of European ancestry. What's particularly intriguing is how little we understand them genetically. There isn't a single hazel gene. Instead, they are likely the complex result of multiple genes interacting, including OCA2, GAY, and potentially others yet to be identified. Akin to nature playing a sophisticated game of genetic roulette and landing on a stunning gradient. Functionally, individuals with hazel eyes may also experience improved vision in tricky or mixed lighting conditions. Not as sharp as brown eyes in bright sun, but not as sensitive as blue eyes in the dark. Finding a unique 6. Gray eyes, the elusive smoky hue. Gray eyes hold the distinction of being the rarest, normal, eye color, if you can even categorize them as such, gracing less than 1% of the global population. Despite their cold, smoky appearance, there is no actual gray pigment within them. The elusive gray color is created by a fascinating optical effect. How the collagen fibers in the front layer of the iris scatter light. These dense fibers effectively flatten out the reflected color, producing a soft, diffused look, much like fog settling in a snowstorm. Genetically, gray eyes are often considered a close cousin to blue eyes. Both result from low concentrations of melanin, but gray eyes have a distinct twist. The collagen fibers within the iris are significantly denser than those found in blue eyes, which fundamentally alters the way light bounces and dulls any strong underlying hue. Instead of reflecting a crisp, clean blue reminiscent of a summer sky, these denser fibers blur and scatter the light, creating a softer, more muted tone. This is why gray eyes can appear to shift in color, sometimes looking silver, at other times greenish or even hazel, depending on the lighting conditions, truly earning their nickname as a mood ring for your skull. Scientists are still uncertain about the precise evolutionary origins of gray eyes, but they are most commonly found around the Baltic Sea region and parts of Eastern Europe, often alongside very pale skin and light hair, embodying a stealth mode aesthetic for colder, low-light environments. Some studies suggest that while gray eyes might be more sensitive to bright light than blue eyes, they can offer a sharper, more nuanced vision in low-contrast settings, providing a subtle advantage when everything else looks washed out. Another interesting feature sometimes associated with gray eyes is more visible limbal rings. The dark circle around the iris, which, when strong, can make the eyes appear even more striking, subconsciously. 7. Red and violet eyes. The albinism connection. Yes, red eyes are a real phenomenon, but they're thankfully not the kind you'd encounter in vampire lore or horror films. True red eyes are an extremely rare occurrence, almost exclusively seen in severe cases of ocular albinism. In individuals with this condition, the iris lacks sufficient pigment to either block or reflect light effectively. Consequently, when light penetrates the eye, it doesn't get absorbed or bounced back by pigment. Instead, it passes through and reflects directly off the tiny blood vessels nestled inside the eye. The result is a striking red appearance, not a colored red pigment, but literally the visible color of blood illuminated from within. This effect becomes even more pronounced under bright lights or with flash photography. Sometimes, eyes can also appear violet or lavender, depending on specific lighting conditions and how light filters through. This unique interplay of deep blue-gray and lighting tricks is what famously gave actress Elizabeth Taylor her purple eyes. However, for individuals with albinism, the red tint isn't a trick, it's an inherent part of their biology. Beyond being a visual quirk, this lack of melanin makes these eyes incredibly sensitive to sunlight and harsh artificial light. People with red eyes typically experience poor vision and require significant protection, like dark sunglasses, when outdoors. Despite their intense and often misunderstood appearance, red eyes themselves are not dangerous but are simply a visible manifestation of a rare genetic condition. While rare in humans due to the uncommon nature of albinism, certain albino animals, like rabbits or mice, also exhibit this eerie glow, sometimes using it as a warning in nature. In humans, it might just mean you'll always stand out. 8. Heterochromia, the unmatched eyes. You've likely seen it before, perhaps in a striking photograph or, more rarely, in person. One eye a vivid blue, the other a warm brown, or a captivating splash of green within an otherwise hazel iris. This fascinating condition, where an individual's eyes, or parts of an eye, don't match in color, is known as heterochromia. While it often looks like a rare superpower or a genetic marvel, for most, it's a completely harmless variation. There are 3 primary types of heterochromia. Complete heterochromia asterisk is when each eye is an entirely different color, such as one blue and one brown. Sectoral heterochromia asterisk occurs when a distinct slice or segment of one iris is a different color from the rest. And finally, asterisk central heterochromia asterisk is characterized by the iris having rings of multiple shades, often with a different color around the pupil that fades into another color towards the outer edge. Most of the time, heterochromia is a benign, intriguing surprise from your DNA, often developing from tiny, subtle changes during fetal development, or from genes deciding to express pigment unevenly in different parts of the eye. However, it's important to note that it's not always something you're born with. In some cases, heterochromia can be acquired later in life due to eye injuries, certain medications, or underlying medical conditions such as Horner's syndrome. Therefore, if you notice a sudden change in your eye color, it's always advisable to consult a doctor. While researchers speculate that heterochromia might have been more common in ancient populations before being gradually filtered out over time, today it appears in less than 1% of humans. It's significantly more prevalent in the animal kingdom, particularly among certain breeds of cats, dogs, and horses. In humans, though, it's typically just a wonderfully unique, built-in, contrast mode that makes for 9. Black eyes. Nature's ultimate sunglasses. When you encounter someone with eyes so intensely dark that it seems impossible to discern the iris from the pupil, it's common to refer to them as having black eyes. They possess such depth and intensity that they often appear as if they've stepped out of a science fiction film. However, despite their striking appearance, technically, human eyes are not truly black. What we perceive as black eyes are, in reality, incredibly dark brown eyes. They are so saturated with melanin, the same pigment that gives brown eyes their strength and protective qualities, that its concentration is cranked up to the absolute maximum. When melanin levels reach this extreme, the light behaves differently. It doesn't scatter like it does in blue eyes, nor does it reflect golden hues like amber eyes. Instead, the abundant melanin simply absorbs almost all incoming light, effectively swallowing it whole. This highly effective light absorption makes these eyes appear uniformly dark, making the iris indistinguishable from the pupil under normal lighting conditions. You'll observe this eye color most frequently in people from sunny, hot equatorial regions. in environments where staring at a bright horizon without natural protection could lead to vision damage. Within a few years, black eyes serve as nature's ultimate sunglasses. They are perfectly adapted for intense sunlight, meaning individuals with this eye color don't need to squint as much, because their eyes are already performing the crucial work of light regulation. While they typically look flat black, if you catch them in just the right, intense light, you might occasionally glimpse a deep red or bronze tint beneath the surface, like glowing coals hidden on 10. Kayser-Fleischer Rings, a window to your health. Imagine looking in the mirror one day and noticing an unusual, shimmering golden-brown ring encircling your iris. Not on the surface of your eye, but seemingly embedded within it. While most people wouldn't immediately connect this peculiar visual sign to an internal organ, this specific phenomenon, known as Kayser-Fleischer rings, can be a crucial indicator of a serious liver problem. These distinctive rings appear when an excess of copper begins to accumulate in the body. Under normal circumstances, your liver efficiently filters out any surplus copper from your system. However, in individuals afflicted with Wilson's disease, a rare genetic disorder, the liver is unable to perform this vital function. Consequently, copper starts to build up in places where it doesn't belong, causing damage to organs like the brain and, notably, the eyes. The Kayser-Fleischer ring forms precisely at the outer edge of the iris, right where it meets the cornea. Its appearance can vary. Sometimes it's faint, almost like a subtle shadow, making it difficult to spot without close inspection. At other times, it can be quite pronounced, catching the light with a peculiar bronze or greenish gold sheen, looking almost like smudged eyeliner on the inside of your eyeball. This ring is one of those rare yet profound signs that can manifest before a person even begins to feel overtly sick. Doctors often use a specialized slit lamp to detect these rings, and if identified early, this visual cue can lead to life-saving treatment for Wilson's disease. Interestingly, even after successful treatment, the Kayser-Fleischer rings don't always completely disappear. For some, they remain a permanent, albeit harmless, medical souvenir, a testament to how the eyes can literally snitch on